The International Criminal Court coming out with some more hits just a little more than a year after issuing arrest warrants for Vladimir Putin. They now have other alleged war criminals in their sights, and that includes Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as the Defense Minister of Israel and leadership of Hamas. So there's a lot of war. They're not done yet. They're not fully confirmed, but the freakout has already begun, okay? And now let's talk about the argument for why these arrest warrants could be forthcoming. So the court's prosecutor said in a statement that he was applying for arrest warrants for Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Deif, and Ismail Haniyah of Hamas. Khan said that the Hamas officials planned and instigated the commission of crimes on that day, and that they have, quote, acknowledged their responsibility for those crimes through their actions, such as personal visits to hostages shortly after their kidnapping. That seems accurate and compelling. Yeah. Basically every single thing that happened on October 7th should be a violation of a ton of international laws. And in addition, Mr. Khan also said that he had requested arrest warrants for Mr. Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, the defense minister of Israel, because he believed they bore responsibility for war crimes and crimes against humanity, including the starvation of civilians as a weapon of war and, quote, intentionally directing attacks against the civilian population as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the Palestinian civilian population. He said that some of those crimes continued to this day. I mean, the use of starvation as a weapon of war definitely is continuing to this day. America literally had to build its own pier to get a little bit of aid into the country to save some people's lives. And so the request from that prosecutor has not yet been approved by judges from the court. And by the way, Israel, of course, is not a party to the court in any event. So it's not like they're going to be served immediately. Theoretically, they would have to be approved, and Netanyahu would have to travel to a country that is a party to the ICC. And so there's a lot of different ways that this could theoretically break down. But Francesca, what do you make of it?
I mean, I think the ball is in Biden's court, and it seems like he is, once again volleying it for Israel. They have called the ruling outrageous, apparently. Blinken, I guess reportedly is rejecting this. It's like, cool. I mean, at least they're being honest, right? I mean, since when has the United States been a equal adherent to international law? When it comes to their interests or crimes they would like to commit or countries they would like to invade, it's all good and hunky-dory. But when it comes to someone who they deem an adversary, like Putin, it's bad. So, it's par for the course. It's just sad that this is where we are. And I do think it is interesting, whether it's the ICC or the ICJ, I think Americans are getting a taste of, there is a established humanitarian law that, very interestingly, was a framework that was largely established after World War II and the crimes of the Holocaust. Things like you can't just say you're following orders, right? Things like preventing the births of a people, right, as a part of that weapon of international humanitarian crimes. And so sadly, Israel has weaponized the memory of the Holocaust to further actually violate the very statutes that were erected to protect people, religious minorities, unoccupied people like the people of Palestine. And so, it's so hypocritical and it's painful that this is happening. And I know that Jews around the world many of them do not believe that the state of Israel is acting on their behalf or doing justice to that memory of the crimes of the Holocaust because of this. So I think that just has to be said. But again, the ball's in Biden's court. We will see whether he continues to protect his friend Netanyahu. We know that Republicans will scream at him if they don't. Yeah. Republicans are literally they're going to become that human shield. But for Netanyahu, should the ICC actually try and serve an arrest warrant?
Yeah, so like are the warrants against the members of Hamas, are those legit? Can you do that?
Sure.
I think we can all agree that they committed war crimes and crimes against humanity. So are those okay or no? Is the whole thing bunk?
Yeah.
And here's again, we are so burdened. Me and you, Francesca, and the vast majority of the people in the audience are burdened by this weird mutation we have where we think we should be consistent about things. And many people are not burdened by that. does anyone actually think that if Israel and Iran came to like a fighting war or whatever, and Iran invaded a portion of Israel, the size of Gaza, and did this to that area of Israel, literally everything down the line that the IDF has done, the bombings and the blockades and all that, would anyone say that that is acceptable, that that's not violating the ICC ICJ, crimes against humanity generally, war crime? Would anyone think that? No. Lindsey Graham was freaking out about this. We're not gonna read his tweets, but he would be the first to say that those are all crimes against humanity. And he thinks they're perfectly acceptable here because he does not have that mutation that we have. That unfortunate mutation where we think that people are people and all people deserve respect and all people's lives should be taken into consideration. That he thinks some lives are worth protecting and others are not. And unfortunately, so many people that are a part of the process of this story being a thing that people hear about in the media and all that, nobody will ever say that. They won't vocalize it, but they believe, like Lindsey Graham believes, that certain humans are simply more valuable than others. And so how dare you think that, like, he's our ally, they can't commit war crimes. Oh no, Putin, we hate him. He can commit war crimes in Ukraine, but just him. No, anybody can, and we should care about all of them. Because if you allow our allies to do these things, will you be shocked if our enemies do them? You've set the legal framework for those things being acceptable. Yeah, I apologize, I'm going on too long. Final quick point goes to you.
Quick point is that, look, the ICC is applying this equally, and yet these are very unequal war crimes. Every 10 days, on October 7th happens to the people of Gaza. Every 10 days. That's what the numbers show up to. 1,200 people killed about every 10 days. Is it 1-to-1 in terms of life here or not?
Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.